Twiggy Lawson is a former model who helped define the look of the 1960s, though the star wasn't too confident about her appearance during the height of her career. Though Twiggy's modeling career only lasted a handful of years, her influence on the world of fashion can still be felt today. Twiggy's entrance into the world of modeling came by accident, and she was never quite sure what the world saw in her. Join FactsVerse as we explore how Twiggy's entire modeling career was an accident, and see her now. Twiggy wanted to model but hated her looks. Twiggy Lawson was born in a London suburb of Neasden on September 19, 1949. World War II had caused a shortage of food in England, forcing the government to ration food to its people until the mid-1950s. Many credit this phenomenon with the fact that Twiggy grew up to be skinny in appearance, but it also seems this thinness was in the future star's genes. When Twiggy was born, she was given the name Leslie Hornby, and she wouldn't be given the cutesy and slightly disparaging nickname of Twiggy until after starting out as a model. Though Twiggy didn't get her more famous stage name until later, she wasn't without a disparaging nickname during childhood. As a child, her friends and loved ones called her Sticks due to how skinny she was. As a result, young Twiggy wasn't all that confident about her appearance. She had a hard time being comfortable in her own body growing up, and these feelings didn't abate much by the time she was a world-famous model. Twiggy never got why the public was so fascinated with her skinny appearance, though she expressed interest in becoming a model at an early age. When teenage Twiggy first tried to become a model, she was told she was too short at 5'6". Twiggy accidentally found success as a teen. It was at the age of 16 that Twiggy found unprecedented success in the world of modeling, and seemingly overnight. Though she had yearned for success, it ended up being a complete accident that rocketed her to stardom. In 1966, Twiggy went to a notable hairdresser to get a pixie cut, which had become incredibly popular at the time. When Twiggy was done, the hairdresser took a picture of her new do and hung it up on the wall of his salon. This snapshot of Twiggy was just one of many pictures hanging on the wall of the salon, but it caught the attention of an editor named Deirdre McSherry. When Deirdre saw Twiggy's snapshot hanging on the wall, she instantly saw potential. All the things Twiggy hated about her appearance were things Deirdre felt would be selling points to the ever-changing public. Deirdre felt Twiggy represented the future of fashion, and this would prove correct. In these early years, Twiggy was aided in her endeavors by her boyfriend, Justin de Villeneuve. Justin acted as Twiggy's manager when she started her career, and it was he who came up with the stage name of Twiggy. Deirdre McSherry was the editor of the Daily Express, and Twiggy went on to appear in the publication as the Face of 66. Following this notable appearance, Twiggy became an overnight sensation. Her appearance went on to not only define the year of 1966, but the whole decade. Given that Twiggy never really understood what the public saw in her appearance, she didn't always see this influence as a great thing. But it's undeniable that there was a part of Twiggy that was glad about becoming a successful model. Twiggy has never understood her own appeal. The Daily Express was far from the only publication Twiggy appeared in during her relatively short modeling career, which lasted for around 4 years before she essentially retired. The star also appeared in over a dozen different photo shoots for Vogue within the span of the same year. However, the more popular Twiggy got, the more dissatisfied the generation-defining model seemed to become with her appearance. Before we tell you more, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to FactsVerse if you haven't already. Twiggy's signature look was decidedly boyish. Twiggy Lawson came onto the modeling scene with a signature look that didn't change much over the course of her career. It was revolutionary for its time in many different ways. 3 predominant aspects defined Twiggy's look: her short hair, her large eyes, and her incredibly slim figure. Her short hair and slim body made her appear as somewhat of an androgynous figure, which proved a perfect fit for the changing times of the 60s. Whereas models had previously risen to success most often on the size of their bust, it was Twiggy's long and slender legs that helped her find success in the industry. One of the reasons there had been such an emphasis on busts previously was because models weren't allowed to show very much skin, particularly below the waist. Twiggy rose to prominence at a time when models were first beginning to be granted the freedom to show off their lower limbs, and this proved perfect for the leggy model. Twiggy was seen as being edgy and revolutionary in these regards, but her large and welcoming eyes also made her seem safe. Twiggy Lawson was not only the most successful model of her time, but she was arguably the most successful model up until that time. The young star found unprecedented success in the fashion industry and was soon being treated by the public more as if she was a pop star than a simple fashion model. This accomplishment was made all the more staggering by the fact that her modeling career only lasted for around 4 years. She found unprecedented success with modeling. During the years she graced the world of modeling with her presence, she became the most photographed person on the planet. At the peak of her fame, her visage could be seen on just about any kind of merchandise a consumer could ask for. She even took advantage of her consumer appeal by creating her own fashion line. It consisted of a full range of clothing items and became hugely successful. Twiggy was her own greatest critic. While the world in general seemed to think Twiggy was the greatest thing since sliced bread, she wasn't without her critics. Twiggy was arguably her own greatest critic, and her oftentimes tongue-in-cheek, disparaging comments about herself and her figure in the press only made the public more sympathetic and loving towards the star. Twiggy had always had a great sense of humor about her unique appearance in modeling, and this endeared her to the public. There were popular bumper stickers that read, "Forget Oxfam, feed Twiggy." Oxfam was a conglomerate of British charitable organizations meant to feed the needy. More criticism for Twiggy came via notable British fashion luminary Mark Cohen, who said her legs were like 2 painted worms. He called Twiggy a stick insect and a beanstalk, though the young model probably agreed. Twiggy Lawson's look also caused some controversy as a result of some people feeling the model's overly skinny appearance was encouraging young women to develop eating disorders. Twiggy herself was fairly accepting of these concerns, believing the public's fascination with her waif-like appearance might not be entirely healthy or sensible. According to Twiggy, her shockingly skinny appearance during her teen years was completely natural, and she didn't do anything unhealthy to maintain it. But she could see how other women might fall into the trap of an eating disorder when trying to emulate it. Twiggy would go on to say the look she became famous for during her teen years couldn't be replicated by someone over 20, and she felt this was a pretty significant criticism of the fashion industry. Twiggy became the first pop star model. 1969 saw Twiggy make a publicity tour across America, and the star realized just how big of a global impact her twig-like appearance had made on the world. She went on to retire from modeling the next year, but that doesn't mean she exited from the spotlight. In fact, Twiggy remains a notable public celebrity to this day at age 72. After retiring from modeling, she ventured into the world of acting via Ken Russell's 1971 cult classic, The Boyfriend, which turned her from a model into a film star. She went on to win 2 separate awards at the next Golden Globe ceremony, including Most Promising Newcomer. Now it's time to hear from you. What part of the story was most surprising to hear about? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts Verse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.